So ahead of his fight with Cash Ali this weekend, David Price has given an interview to Sky Sports in which he's discussing, the fight that's up and coming. He's also discussing some future plans and almost kind of saying that he wants to just, kind of fight slowly on a fight-by-fight basis and just kind of ease his way back in to, the kind of fringe world level of the heavyweight division. Which I think is good because I think in David Price's career, maybe he's taken fights way too soon before he should have. And I don't mean that early on in his career, I mean that in general. He would come back having maybe one kind of rehabilitation fight and then would jump into a very dangerous fight without being properly guided. And I think that's one of the reasons why David Price, apart from other issues, has maybe not reached the level that he had potential to reach, if you know what I mean. Because where would you put David Price? Would you put him at European level? Which one? British level? You only put him at British level / European, fringe European. Maybe he could have gone a little bit further than that if he'd took the fights a little bit better at the right times, if that makes sense, rather than just having one fight or two fights and then jumping straight in with someone who's a killer, taking it easy and easing into that. So he's been kind of talking about that, and I like to hear that. That's good for David Price that he is kind of starting to maybe see things the way I think he should be seeing it, and easing your way in and not going so fast into things. Now, no sooner has David Price said that, but he's been talking about Dominic Breazeale. And about Dominic's Breazeale recovery since his loss to Anthony Joshua, and how he's on the verge of fighting for a heavyweight title. So I'm going to quote David Price here. It says, "I look at Breazeale, and when I watch him, I don't see anything that's worth worrying about in the slightest. The difference between me and him is the way he's been guided to such a position, as he's on the verge of challenging for another heavyweight title. That's what you call brilliant management. He's someone who never really impressed me, but you look at his record and he's only lost once. And he's about to go into a fight with Deontay Wilder after already fighting Joshua. He's someone I'd be confident of beating if we ever fought, but I'm not in any sort of position to be asking for that fight at this moment." So those are the words of David Price. Now, Dominic Breazeale, would you say it's good management that he's got this position? You could argue that. I mean, Dominic Breazeale is advised by Al Heyman. Deontay Wilder is advised by Al Heyman. I think Al Heyman wants to keep it as much in-house as he can. Dominic Breazeale lost to Anthony Joshua, and his first fight back was against Izu Ogono. And he went life and death with Izu Ogono. It was a great fight. If someone hasn't seen that fight, I recommend you go watch it. Dominic Breazeale versus Izu Ogono was a great fight. Breazeale got up off the canvas and stopped Ogono. But that was Breazeale, I think, wasn't seen as the favourite going into that fight, if memory serves me correct. That was kind of, Izu Ogono's, kind of moment to shine. So, Breazeale kind of, flipped the script on that. And then he went on to fight Eric Molina, I think was straight after that. And that was actually built as a final eliminator. So, in terms of management-wise, I wouldn't say that was necessarily management playing a part. It was more so the WBC being the WBC and just not giving a rat's ass about who they rank or what type kind of mandatory position is what. So that's WBC more so than management. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Dominic Breazeale, he had to beat who was in front of him, and he did. So I'm not gonna say he deserves that title shot as much as other people do. I think Dylan White maybe deserves a bit more, but he's in that position for a reason. He's won the fights he needed to win. And, he gets his crack at Deontay Wilder. David Price kind of said that he's never seen much in Breazeale that's impressed him. I mean, I've not really seen much in Breazeale that's impressed me, other than his heart and his will to win. Because Breazeale, as I've said many times, he is very, very, very slow. He's not that hard to miss. And, he's not chinny. But he's not granite chinned, he can be hurt, he can be dropped, he's been knocked down and dropped several times. David Price versus Dominic Breazeale, that would be a fun fight. That's a fight where you wouldn't want to take your eyes off it, because both guys, you suspect, have the power to hurt each other. Both guys, well, I don't think Breazeale is chinny, but I think he can be hurt, whereas Price, we know, is chinny. Both guys are not great defensively. Both guys have been in tough fights. That'd be a very, very fun fight to watch. David Price, he's lost 6 fights, but every single time he fights on a card, you just can't help but watch it. You just want to watch it because you just don't know what might happen. Like his fight with Povetkin, I was more hyped for his fight with Povetkin than I was for the main event, which was Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker when that fight happened last year. I remember I had literally had goosebumps at the thoughts of Povetkin Price because I didn't know what would happen. I knew Povetkin would win, but could Price spring something? Could he land something? So Price is a fighter that I think most fans can get behind because he is a likeable character, but he's always in entertaining fights. So a fight with him in Breazeale, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I would probably edge towards Breazeale winning that fight personally if it was ever to get made, but definitely it's a fight that David Price could definitely win. So, those are my thoughts on this. Leave yours down below. Would a fight between Dominic Breazeale and David Price interest you? And if so, who do you think could win that fight? So, those are my thoughts on this. We have to see how David Price gets on this weekend against Cash Ali. I done a video about that a little while back, and people were saying to go and look at Cash Ali. I forget the guy's name, but he knocked the guy out with kind of an overhand right. It was a bad enough knockout. But other than that, there's not really anything I've seen of Cash Ali that really makes me think that, he's going to, pose any real threat to David Price. He just seems very, very basic. So, but you never know. Tony Thompson wasn't supposed to pose a threat to David Price, and we all saw what happened both fights. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on this. As always, leave yours down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for dropping by the channel. Much appreciated. Please hit subscribe. And if you like the video, please give it a share. And as always, I will talk to you after.